This is the second installment of becoming a successful artist. And me and Max, what we wanted to do with this series is take the emerging music producer and the emerging recording artist, and essentially coach them, as we can with the episodes, coach them. Levi de Gabby,
yes,
appreciate you for joining us. Essentially, coach them through the different stages of being a successful emerging. So hopefully by next year, like I said, if your budget's tight, this is what we're doing, right? If your budget's tight and you're not ready to make an investment or anything like that with what Max has to offer and what I have to offer, it's perfectly fine. This year we're walking people through that journey from what we know, from what we've seen be successful in the field, and also just with studying other artists, because you always got to continuously learn.
There you go.
So this is episode number 2. Quarter 1, we're dealing with the novice. Quarter 2, we'll be dealing with that sort of second tier of you've been doing it for a little bit and you just need to know some steps and things like that to boost your career and essentially, take it to the next level, whatever that next level happens to be. We'll identify that in a little bit. And then level 3, you're pretty much ready to be putting an album together. All right. So I want to see a lot of people next year saying, yo, like, we're coming out with our albums. Some of y'all are going to come out with your albums, in quarter 3 this year. Some of you guys are going to come up with your albums in quarter 2 this year.
We're speaking it into existence.
Speaking it into existence. So even before we do that, all right, so Soundboard Sundays, episode 40. So I actually want to just I'll say the announcement a little bit till the end. I want folks to stay on and hang out. So this Soundboard Sundays, guys, is sponsored today by I Am a Music Producer, an audio affirmations book system that helps music producers with the mindset portion of their journey, with knowing how to get going and stay going, becoming that music producer, being in the mindset, knowing what the successful music producer does and being able to do that. And that link is in my bio. Max, tell them who it's sponsored by on your end, bro.
Yes, it's sponsored by How to Attract Gigs as an Emerging Artist, a guide to position yourself in a new digital entertainment economy. That's my ebook. And that's for you. I'm speaking to you directly, the music artist, the emerging artist that is struggling with gigs, that is struggling with a show-ready mentality, and that is struggling with the ability to perform in front of the right audience. So if you feel like you need that and the answers to all of those questions, click the link in the bio, and I'll be able to help you for that.
Excellent. Okay, guys. And so, again, we're going to share our book bars, and what book bars are for those just joining us first is that, readers are leaders. Mm-hmm. And Max and I, we met in a group where they have a book club. And so I highly recommend being in a book club, but not only just any book club, a book club that is relative to what you want to grow in, and so you got to pick them carefully. Oh, guys, we started a Telegram group. Let's clap it up. We started a Telegram group because we got to be able to house all this information somewhere else. And then we also are working to setting up a community. We know how powerful, Max and myself know how powerful the community is. And so we set up a Telegram group for you guys to join that. And Max, how can they get into the Telegram group? Do we have something for them right away?
Yeah, we have basically they could just DM. They could even comment the word Telegram while we're going to go live, while we're talking at the moment. And we'll send them the link. But for the most part, we'll make sure that we arrange that.
So, Max, go ahead and tell them your book bar, bro.
Yes, so the book bar is from the book called Profit First. And I don't want to mess up his last name, so I'll call him Mr. Mike M. or Mike McCalowitz.
McCalowitz. Yeah,
right.
McCalowitz.
Mm-hmm. And it's at page 60. I would say it's chapter 3. Chapter 3, page 6. Sorry. Chapter 4, page 60. Towards the end of page 60, before the last paragraph, he says, once Lisa set out on the profit first path, she realized she wasn't working to her best. Yeah, she realized she wasn't working to her best potential or serving her best audience. Like her money, her services were spread out all over the map. Lisa shifted her business audience and formed ARC Media Entertainment, a business incubator for creative entrepreneurs. Essentially, what it means, what I understood from that is you have to map out a certain way you're going to go about your career, or even how you're going to go about your music. You want to make sure that it's structured properly and it's organized in a way where not only you understand it, but the people you're going to convey your message to will understand it as well.
Yep. Just communication, being communication. Myron Golden talked about that, guys, in the four levels of like people who get paid the most. I don't know what it's called, but check out Myron Golden, 4 levels of something. Anyways, the third level, almost to the highest level of people who get paid the most, right, was communicators and songwriters, and even again music producers, right, fall into that category of communicators, being able to communicate a message. So this is a part of business. This is structuring the business. And I want to say what's up to Prestigious Solutions, Jukebox DC. Oh, that's my guy. Jukebox DC, board members, 92 Survivor. Okay, well, that's interesting. I want to hear about what that is. I'm curious. Anyways, but setting up the business structure, you set up the structure in how your creative process goes. You set up the structure in how you put together essentially like albums goes. You set up the structure how you release your projects. So the more that things are structured, the more you're not like running around like just flailing around like a chicken with your head cut off, which is causing more stress, which is zapping the creative process. So all those things are counterproductive. So I had to tell myself, like sometimes, guys, structure would make me kind of cringe, and it's true. I'm not past some of those places. But structure would make me cringe because I'm like, yo, this is boring. Like, I want to like live by the seat of my pants. And it wasn't until recently where it's like, yo, living by the seat of your pants takes so much away from the relaxed state. There's so much cortisol. I think it's cortisol, right? Cortisol being being released into the body. And so that's that fight or flight thing that's going on. And it's not the place where you want to be, where you are creating music. Kanye West says something. I highly recommend everybody watch Genius on Netflix. It is absolutely amazing. And what's even more amazing is the dude Cody, who actually shot the doc. Cody and Cheek, who shot the documentary. But Kanye's talking to Rick Rubin, which is a really major music producer, audio engineer, like heavy hitter. Just look up Rick Rubin. And Rick Rubin's like, I'm excited to come and see you. And Kanye's like, I don't like the term excited, because when someone's excited, you can be excited that like there's a free new car, really good car of yours is across the street from you, right? And you could be so excited that you run across the street and get hit by a car. So context. So he said, again, excited means this kind of like frenzy sort of whatever. He's like, he likes to use the word energized. Let me know down in the comments if y'all like get that difference. Does excited mean something different than energized?
Hey.
Black One was good. Cortisol. Yep, exactly. So, all right, that's the book bar. So my book bar comes from the last little bit of "We Should All Be Millionaires."
Right.
I've got a couple of them. I'm just gonna give a few of them. So wealth is the ability to fully experience life, and that's Henry David Thoreau. So she says this: I want you to fully experience all that life has to offer you with your limited time on earth. If you guys are hearing my voice, We have a limited time on earth, and we've got to remember that. That puts things into perspective. That lets you iron down, you know, who you need to be in conversation with, who you need to argue with, who you need to allow take up your time. When you realize, yo, by the time you are reminded about, yo, what you have to do. You know, what do you have to do? You don't have maybe a year and some change to get out an album. You know, maybe you don't have 5 years, but 5 years left. So it kind of kicks you in the butt to just remind us, yo, we've got stuff to do. And to get that stuff done, Heavy President, appreciate you for joining us. To get that stuff done, we've got to generate income from, again, like having the habits, having the skill set, having the mindset that can get us to that level. So,
there you go.
My last little book bar from this specific book is, in order to become a millionaire, you need to start making millionaire decisions. A millionaire decision is any decision that brings you peace, power, prosperity, or all of the above, right? Jeez. And so peace, power, prosperity, and all of the above. And I got to say this, you know what I'm saying? Because it wouldn't be true to myself. You know what I'm saying? So folks, anybody familiar with the scriptures, you know what I'm saying? In the book of Yehukanah, John, chapter 10, verse 10, it says, I have come that they may possess life, and that they might possess it beyond measure, or possess it have life in abundance. So whether you believe in the scriptures or not, that's not my point. My point is that in many other places, the key to success is maintaining the abundance of life, understanding that you are worth that. But it takes $1 million decisions. All right. So this book has been this book has actually been amazing. Let's go ahead into it. Let's go into it. We're gonna do this hopefully for about a couple minutes, and then we're gonna open it up for Q&A. Guys, let us know in the chat. Press 1 if you want to go live and ask a question pertaining to this specific level of music. Because again, we don't do free brain picking. You don't need free brain picking.
Yes, sir.
You want somebody to be there giving you 100% of their time, and so it's got to be valuable on both levels. Max and I, we spent the time doing the music, getting where we are, spent the hours and all of that type of stuff so that we could siphon it down, consolidate it, condense it down into something that can give a person a value to save money, save time, help you have the skills to generate that money. All right, so let's get into it. So we're at the novice.
Yes, sir.
We're at the novice. The second, okay, so we're at the novice, the level 2. Not the level 2, but the second thing. Last month we dealt with the first thing that you start with, the second thing that you start with. And we're just going to go back to back. All right, Max?
All right, let's do it.
Okay, cool. So the very first thing that you need to do, guys, from last month is to review your strengths and weaknesses. That's what needs to happen, is review your strengths and weaknesses. Remember that you are a business, and you need to understand yourself more, kind of going within more and saying, yo, I love to do this. I'm doing this for the love, but again, do I have to be pitchy? Am I pitchy? What is pitchy? So just examine yourself, right? Take yourself out of the creative songwriter today and say, all right, let me just examine myself, because the beautiful thing is that you actually have the power to change that narrative, right? To change these things. But if you don't examine yourself and you don't know exactly what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are, it's going to take you that much longer to get to where you're going. Whole time, somebody else on this live is like, yo, let me know exactly what I got to do. I'm finna run it up, right? Told you, some of y'all folks are going to get your stuff done in the second quarter, get your music done, get your albums done in the second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, and some are going to be, January 2020, first quarter 2023 is your year, all right? So talking about that really quickly, I was saying, I'm going to give two things because I got a bunch of steps, but I'm going to give two things that I want you guys to write down and keep it in there. Is breath control. So often we forget about breath control, and yo, it's crazy, y'all. The stuff that, like, it's so much auto-tune, y'all absolutely have no idea. Auto-tune been going on for a long time, but there's so much auto-tune right now going on that it's actually changing the way young 10-year-olds, 11-year-olds, 13-year-old singers and people like that who are like really young. I know a lot of us are adults here and stuff like that, but it changes the way that they're actually singing. They're singing with some of the modulation, or gosh, it's not my, it's I can't think of the word, right. But it's when you're like, it's essentially modulation, but they're singing with the modulation that happens when you have that auto tune, which autocorrect, like if you're singing and the note is pitchy, it'll like bring it down really fast if the auto tune response is really fast, right? So it's like, yeah, what I'm saying? It's like that, so kids are actually working towards doing that. Here's the terrible thing is that if you happen to be in vibrato, thank you. Shout out to my guy, Troy Water. It's vibrato. That's exactly, I couldn't think of the name. It's vibrato. Troy, you're amazing. So, but what happens is that they're going to be on a stage or some specific platform where you will have to sing, where you will have to use your absolute voice, where auto-tune will not be available for you. Or you might want to add some, again, singer-songwriter, if movement on stage is a part of your routine, dancing, you're going to want to add some of that to your dancing routine. And that singing and doing steps or whatever like that stuff is some hard work, That stuff is some hard work. So again, breath control. You can link up with a vocal coach, and they should be working with you on breath control. I'll never forget Matthew Knowles, hearing again this old legend about how Matthew Knowles used to make Beyonce, all of Destiny's Child, run around the track while they sung. Do that. That's different, bro. But that's why we know who Beyonce is right now, right? Guys, we can literally just study the professional people and say, what did they do? And I'm going to do that on my level, But that's essentially what we're doing in a nutshell, right? If you want to cut down the time, you hire that coach. You cut down the time, you hire that coach. And I can say that with all firmness about it because, anyways, all right. So digressing from that point, breath control. Max, go ahead. We're just going to hit them. Boom, 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 boom.
I love that you talked about strengths and weaknesses because I was thinking about a lot of points when it comes to strengths for emerging artists. Number one is what comes easy to you and harder to others. Like start thinking about, like you just mentioned, points on self-awareness. What am I able to do that my peers tell me all the time, hey, you're good at that. You have a certain way of expressing yourself that's different from other artists. You have a certain tone on your voice that's stronger. Rely on that. Keep focusing on that strength and maximize that potential, right?
Right.
Another point I was going to say was not only that you could rely on that strength and, you want to focus on what's natural to you, but you always want to rely on that strength in order to create collaborations in the future. So before you even thinking about collaborating with any other artists or getting to a point where you say, okay, you know what, I got what it takes. Well, look at what could be an add-on to any project you're working on. For instance, if we look at someone like Spliff Star, that's someone that people just look at as a hype man, right? He's basically Busta Rhymes' best friend, for those who know. And every time he went on stage with Busta Rhymes, it was an add-on for Busta Rhymes because he brought that energy that's special to Busta Rhymes' performance. So you can look at your career the same way. What can I add to any project or any collaboration in the future that's different to anybody else?
Exactly. That's a benefit that is completely underappreciated. Is the hype man or the hype woman who knows like their place, their function in the business. Because as y'all see, like Spliff Star been with Busta Rhymes for the whole ride. So again, knowing what's actually in your wheelhouse. Now, look, let me just tell you guys, listen, because we're talking a lot of the time we're talking to adults. You know, we're talking to adults. I looked at the demographics. A lot of people who are checking for my stuff is between that 25 to 45 age generation. Right. And we talked about guys like some lives, some Soundboard Sundays ago that it's never too late to be to get started in music. You know what I'm saying? It's never too late. What's my guy's name who sang "Lovely Day"? Bill Withers. Bill Withers got started. I mean, we thought about, yeah, you know what? I don't think I want to do music at maybe 27, 28. You know, and invested in himself, and by 30, he was ready to go. That's real. Putting out "Lovely Day," putting out things that, you know, again, give us memories. You know, ain't no sunshine when she's gone. So first off, you're never too old. All right. So you may have skills. To Max's point, you may have skills that are outside of just like getting better as a emerging artist, right? You might know how to market because you might be in a corporate space, you know, or you might you might know how to do digital graphic design, excuse me. Yes. Because you've been in some other facet of the arts, right? You know, so again, focusing in on those other skills, those strengths and things like that, and saying, yo, what's my weaknesses? And just like how I built those strengths, I'm finna build up these weaknesses, and we're gonna go ahead and run it on up. Yes. Gosh, dang, it was something that you said I wanted to talk about. Right. So, okay, another point is, are your words spoken clearly? Now, understand it's a whole genre of like mumble rap, and I get it. It's a whole genre of mumble rap, right? And I'm like, that ain't necessarily like bars for me, and I don't necessarily think that it's going to have such a good shelf life as, like, you know, say a Reasonable Doubt or Nas's Illmatic, or, you know, I don't see like maybe even some of Kanye West's, you know, the Late Registration album, you know, where he goes on tour and he performs. He's got a dang choir. I mean, a goddamn orchestra behind it. Or you know, and it could happen. Missy Elliott too, exactly. And it could happen, but the point is that you need to when you got your words, right? I'm a big fan of, again, speak in your accent that is native to you. If you're from, you know, Montreal, if you're from this side of Montreal or that side of Montreal, speak in your specific language, but make it clear as possible. Talk in slang, but make it clear. Man, I got what I'm saying? Point. I love that you just mentioned that, because that's when the relatability comes in place, right? How can your music be related to a certain audience? Specifically, I love that you mentioned Montreal, because there's a lot of artists in the city that feel like they don't get enough love when they go to Toronto. Because you have to understand, you probably haven't got to a point where you're relatable enough in Toronto. Your music does not necessarily speak to the people there, because you're not really your authentic self. Until you become your authentic self and your music speaks to your core audience, that's when you can grow organically and people could really mess with what you have going on. Right. I love that. So no, man. That's 100%. Like, that's 100%. So breath control, you're looking at your strengths and your weaknesses, understanding where you are in your wheelhouse, and saying, yo, actually, what do I bring to the table that's beyond music, that's beyond the skill set of music and stuff like that, but I can actually use it in my music journey? Or who, right? Who do I actually have? Like Max said about Split Star and all that type of stuff. But the thing is that the person has to understand, yo, I'm playing a role. I'm playing a role. You know what I'm saying? Busta Rhymes got a real name. I don't know his real name. Anybody know the real name? Busta Rhymes' real name? Please comment that thing in the comment section. But even more than that, Busta Rhymes is a Flip Mode Squad. Busta Rhymes, that's a business entity. It's a character. You know, it's a character. So when we're all like, look, okay, like a part of the business is this hype man called Split Star. That's a part of the business, you know. And you can actually and you can actually help your folks, help family and friends eat. You know what I'm saying? By giving them jobs and positions that they can actually do the work, actually work, not just hanging on to you. We ain't having no MC Hammers out here. You know what I'm saying? Who just out here just making millions and just spreading it amongst a bunch of povertist mindset people. You cannot help people who have a povertist mindset. Just because you live in the hood don't mean you got a povertist mindset. But if you got a povertist mindset, you cannot help that person, you know, no matter how close they are to you. They're gonna run your bag up and leave you broke and be resentful about why you ain't giving them no more money no more. Anyways, okay, Max, go for it. We fired off today.
Balls, man. So
yeah,
weakness, right? Because you talked about how you want to know, you want to improve your weaknesses, right? And one thing I thought about was how can you how could you refine those weaknesses? One of the ways that is important for you to do that is because is looking at resources, right? Look at several resources that you could invest in, whether they're books, whether there's, like you said, a coach, vocal coach, who could help you improve a certain way for you to sing or a certain way for you to rap. You could look at different resources, such as courses that you could invest in that are going to help you refine that weakness, you know, develop that weakness, and maybe even become your second strength, and not waste too much time beating yourself up and telling yourself, oh, you know what, I don't have it yet. I'm not sure about how I'm doing it. So it's basically alleviating that self-doubt. As soon as you're alleviating that self-doubt and you focus on that weakness to improve in a certain way, that's when you will become a lot more confident and a lot more impactful in your music.
Yes. Yes. The investment. Decide, for that I said, decide how you're going to move forward. You got to decide. Boondook, what's good, bro? You got to decide how you're going to move forward. Okay. So again, this is what this review of the strengths and weaknesses. So you're just taking some time today, guys. Just take some time today and say, all right, what are my strengths and weaknesses, or what is the, you know, I want you to kind of separate yourself like from the artist of yourself a little bit, you know. And so in Getting to Yes, which is a negotiations book, an old, really famous negotiations book, it talked about going hard on the problem and not the person. Going hard on the problem and not the person. So you don't have to think that you suck, okay? You just have to say, yo, listen, the artist, which is myself, the artist aspect as a business, it just needs a little bit more of this. It needs a little bit more of that. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Excuse me. So again, knowing that you need to invest, I understood. I am now a big fan of investment, and I'm like, I got to invest. I have to invest now. I used to hear people, and I want to talk about it for 2 seconds because I used to, you know, I'm like, I remember people again sounding pitchy and, you know, and saying, you know, you need to invest in this, or, you know, that's the only way you move up, you know, applied knowledge is power, all these like sort of catchphrases. And I'm like, yeah, you know, I mean, you seem like you're trying to sell me something.
Yeah.
And I'm not right. And I'm not necessarily looking to buy right now. Right. But the thing is that I actually was not like clear about where I was. Right. And the main thing that is imperative about that is saying, yo, take some inventory. Where am I right now? Versus where I want to be. Myron Golden said it, guys. He said everyone is doing 100% of their best that they can do with what they know now.
Whew. Jeez, man.
Yo, did y'all hear that? 100%.
I wish there was a rewind button. I would have.
Yo, look, I'm gonna say, I'm not even gonna repeat it.
Wow.
But y'all know that that's 100%. We all know that it is 100%. We're doing the best that we can do with what we know. That is what coaching is. You know, hearing different coaches and being a part of different coaching programs, that's all kind of what makes a good coach and what makes a bad coach. You know, a bad coach to me is just going to tell you what to do. You know, it's going to hear what you're doing and kind of tell you what to do and almost be more of like a consultant. Right. You know, but they're not going to essentially encourage you and recognize or bring you to recognizing how good you actually are. Recognizing your higher self. Because that's the whole, he said it, like that's the whole point of coaching is having the client or the student understand how good they are and them operating in that space. In that space. You know, again, this whole book, guys, was about becoming a millionaire, right? I bought the book. The whole book was about becoming a millionaire and taking you through mindset and skill set so that you could say, yo, okay, I need to first off become the kind of person that the millionaire would be today. Okay. All right. So thinking about investment, again, going back to that, being in the room, what I've seen again over like the last year is that being in a room with other people who are spending, David Chan's the morning meetup was $80 a month, you know, whatever like that. Right. My coaching program that I was in, or that I'm still in, is $2,000, but it also came with a private group, and from that private group, you know, some of the members in there, we're all different businesses, but we've created our own little masterminds with each other. That again, it's something. Think and Grow Rich talks about that. It's like when 2 or 3 more people, it's like the scriptures, right? When 2 or 3 more gathered in my name, there I am also. Well, it's like that. When you got 2 people who are with you, or just somebody else, right? It's almost like there's a third person there because the energy and the frequency and the thought process that you all are bringing to the table, being together and feeding off of each other, it's almost like there's a third person in the room coming up with really dope ideas. Jeez. So you can just multiply that by the more people that you get with, right? In masterminds. So the idea with the paid masterminds are to be with other likewise individuals who are that serious about their growth that they were willing to spend that bread, right? When it's all free, I'm telling y'all, when it's all free, everybody is an expert and don't nobody know nothing.
That's a fact.
Y'all know it. When it's free, don't nobody know nothing. I'm so much like, I don't even know about free events now no more. I don't even know about like free masterminds anymore unless like we were a part of a group where we spent some bread on it already, and we just kind of say, hey, listen, like let's form a little mastermind on the side.
And one thing I want to add to that free mindset, that free 99 mindset is poisonous because you're not gonna stay away from that. You're gonna keep thinking that way, whatever the reason, whatever the scenario is, right? For instance, right. Let's say you wanna get a free master class, and you're used to that. You're used to that way of thinking, and you're used to that type of lifestyle. Well, then when your best friend or anybody you know who's having a fantastic product that's ready to sell it, you're going to think about ways to have a cheaper price because you're used to that stinking thinking, as we should say. You're used to what you're always used to taking and not necessarily investing in yourself and giving for you to get more. I'll let that sink in.
Okay. Yeah, man. That was a heavy little mic drop. That was a heavy little mic drop. Guys, please put a 1 in the chat if you understand what we're talking about here today. Whether you're in your music journey or wherever you are, if this is 100% correct, please put a 1 down in the chat. So talked about investment. Let's get past investment because you guys know, again, investment. Oh, all investments don't cost money. I did want to say that all investments do not cost money. it needs to continuously be a constant learning system, or a habit of learning, right? So investments are the stuff that's free could essentially be a mentor, you know, but you need to know what you're giving to them. When somebody's like, yo, okay, you can pull me away from my family, you can pull me away from revenue generating activity that I'm already doing, it needs to be something in it for them. We need to get out of this, like, I need to get stuff for free, because you, the musician, the recording artist, even the music producers who are on here, y'all don't want people to come to you with that same energy of you putting your heart and soul into something, and they're like, man, yo, man, let me get that joke for you for free, man. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be some exposure. Well, what's the exposure? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm performing at a pet shop this Sunday. Get out of here. Okay, but so it's the same type of energy that you get. But again, learning, so your time currency. I'm a big fan of time currency. Coaching classes or not, mastermind programs or not, I am still like investing my time. One of my coaches said to spend like 10 minutes, reading.
Right.
You know, and then another 10 minutes dealing with something inside of your craft, you know, or inside of your market or whatever it happens to be, you know, watching a video or something like that on a daily consistent basis. And, you know, then I mean, you could spend 20 minutes reading or spend 20 minutes watching a video, you know, something that's going to help contribute to your prosperity. Okay, does anybody have any questions? Please put a 1 in the chat. And like I said, guys, look, I'm gonna tell y'all like this: 1 year from now, you will wish that you asked a question or got started today.
Yep.
1 year from now, you're gonna wish you got asked a question or got started today. This is not the place where anybody judges you on where you are or any of that type of stuff, right? This is a safe space with people who have been successful in music. If you're on Soundboard Sundays live, this is that time to get that quote unquote free advice, free leg up. You got to get rid of all the noise. What's up, Chris?
The time is now.
You got to get rid of all the noise. Max, I got so many more, but I'm just looking at the time. Anybody put a 1 in the chat? Anybody want to go live?
Okay. It looks like I was going to talk about opportunities.
Hey, Felicia, what's good? Okay, go ahead.
Since we talk about strengths, weaknesses, and opportunity is important because you want to understand your market. You want to understand different markets depending on where you are in the world, North America, in the States, Canada, wherever, or even in Mexico. I would say you got to understand what makes you different in your market than any other person that's performing right now. Any other person who feels like they could be top dog will understand and study how they're moving and how they were able to gather how they were able to gather a fan base or attention on social media, so you could do it in your own way, but you could be inspired by their own process, right? And another point I was going to talk about as far as opportunity, you want to know who are the people in media that you would want to connect with in the future. How could you get a hold of them? How could you get their phone number? Could you go to certain networking events where you could communicate with, where you could network with them and build a certain relationship? Those are certain opportunities that you want to maximize and take advantage of. Okay, so we got Boone Duke. He wants to go live.
We got Boone Duke. Okay.
Let's do it.
Yeah, we're gonna let's get you in here, Boone Duke, real quickly, and then I'm gonna talk about the announcement. I'm letting all of the members know first. Now, Boone Duke's been getting it, you know what I'm saying, or whatever like that. So, you know, he's a gentleman who again, like, you know, Boone Duke had some bars, but he hopped on one of my when I was doing a lot more of the promotion of. Hey, Boone Duke, I sent you a request. All right.
Yes, sir.
There we go. All right, we're about to get Boone Duke in here. Boone Duke, you good? I just sent you that request. There we go. What's good, bro?
Hey,
what's good, bro?
Yeah, I had to jump on my other phone. Yeah.
Hey, my man got the other phones out here, man. Don't be sleeping on my guy, man. What's going on with you today, man?
Hey, man, I'm feeling good, man. Vibing today, bro. I love what y'all talking about becoming a successful artist. And I was just in the back. It's good. It's good to hear that. You know, it's really good to hear that type of discussion because there ain't too many people out here that's just talking about how you can level yourself up as an artist, how you should have that artist mindset because. Especially being for me, Fort Knox live in the building. Yo, Fort Knox live, man, that's that dude, yo, out here in the A, yo.
Fort Knox, what's good, bro?
Yeah, that's that dude, yo. But yeah, man, so like for me as an artist, right, you know, I was really focusing on being an artist and then realizing I couldn't really get myself out there as much as I wanted to independently. And so then I took a step back from the music and started just studying on the marketing side of things. And then from there, that led to me starting my marketing business on top of my artist business and my merchandise business. So then, you know, what advice would y'all give to that artist out there who was like, dang, I don't have the funds, I don't have the exposure. So now I'm taking a step back. What advice would you give them as they're juggling multiple things? Because some people out there, they're working a 9 to 5, or some people are out there, they're hustling on whatever they got going on. So that's my question.
Blessings. You want to talk to that, Max? Because I thought of something immediately. And Max, fill in on this. So first thing is that if you have a cell phone, you have a way to communicate. You know, and that's one thing that I did not talk about, which was one more point, which was, again, taking inventory about how you look on camera, right? Everybody, Boondook and Max and folks in the chat, y'all know who have recorded before. Well, some of the most difficult things is to hear your see yourself and hear your voice back.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So when you exude confidence on the camera first, these are things that you can do today. You can say, yo, I'm going to dedicate 7 days to going on, you know, YouTube or your IG live or whatever it happens to be, or just your IG page, and I'm just going to upload my practice. I'm just going to upload me practice singing and things like that, right? People love journeys. People love to kind of come along with you. You know what I'm saying? So that's one things that I would say is to start getting comfortable on camera. Take note of the idiosyncrasies that you have, you know, and so that you can already start there. You know, I mean, there's so many people that are looking to like jump from here to there and to make the money. Ella May, guys, she's a perfect case scenario of somebody who just kind of like rose up a little too fast and was not like trained or whatever like that in the art of like stage performance and all those types of things like that. One of the biggest things is to challenge yourself, but then also have the patience.
Mm-hmm.
Challenge yourself, but also having that patience and saying, listen, like, I'm going to get there, but I need to make sure that my ascent is steady so that your graph can look like this and it can go like that.
Respect.
Because if you're out there too fast and too quickly, it's like you're going to get on a big stage and you could literally fumble all of your bag because you just were not ready. You know that, Boondook. You know, you talked about, you know, doing the music and all that type of stuff for such a long time, you know, and then ended up in the marketing because you were like, hey, listen, like, I need to know how to market my music. And then ended up pivoting that and saying, okay, well, I can actually start a business that can alleviate me being somewhere this 9 to 5 that I don't necessarily like, or adding to, you know, my budget, because we're all adults here.
Yeah.
And then you circle back around and get around to that music. Because that's what I saw you do, Boondook. You know what I'm saying? You were already doing the music, but you needed to you know, were you doing Turo?
Say what?
Did you do Turo?
Airbnb.
Okay, you did an Airbnb, right. I knew you did an Airbnb, but I know if you did the Turo. So you're like, all right, I want to, be able to put out my music in a creative space. I mean, have a creative place to do that. What does that require of me? Remember, we talked about, guys, in the beginning of taking inventory of what it is that you need.
Yep.
First, so that you're not just like, you know, putting a gang of energy into just coming up with a really awesome album, but you don't, like, your breath control is terrible. Your stage performance is terrible. Your marketing is like, your marketing is terrible. So when you're like jumping outside of your artistic self and saying, okay, like, what does this person need? You know, what does this person need? And just, again, being dedicated to growing on a consistent basis.
Wow, yeah, that's real. It's real.
I appreciate that.
I would just say,
go ahead.
It's what we're talking about today, that SWOT analysis, or even having a certain mindset before telling yourself, I don't have the money, because a lot of times we feel like the money is just a roadblock and it's not going to give us the ability. Without having money, we don't have the ability to take the next step, right? So even before thinking about telling yourself, I don't have the money, I don't have enough exposure, start with a pen and a paper, and then ask yourself, what is my strength? What is my weakness? What are the opportunities in my city and my surroundings? Now that I have social media, like Matty said, I have a phone, I have the ability to do certain things. Who can I DM and just learn from them? Look at certain YouTube videos. It's good to use YouTube University and utilize it to your advantage, but you don't want to binge watch it and not take action after that, right? So as long as you have the strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats mapped out. Threats could be also, who are some of the emerging artists in the city, in my city right now, who are hot? How are they making themselves different from who I am? What are their brands about? You know, all of these questions you got to ask yourself before even taking action, or before even building a certain platform for people to know you.
No, I like that. I appreciate it. I'm definitely, I realize, you know, I never even did that for myself as an artist. For my marketing business, I do that for my clients. And like, I haven't even done that for myself as an artist. Like, what are my personal strengths or weaknesses and things of that nature when it comes to that? So I'm going to definitely sit down and do that, because it's critical. And I appreciate what you said too, Matty, because that it's all about that consistency and being able to put that work in, put that effort in. And like, yeah, I'm gonna start one reason, like just this quick thing and I'm out, but one thing that I was like conceptualizing in my head as far as like starting my marketing company, right? I'm like, yo, if my marketing company was a record label, like, would Duke's Day Media sign Bunduk? Like, or what would it take?
Exactly.
What does Bunduk need to do in order to get that deal from Duke's Day Media? Because if I'm making money from the marketing, you know, that's in that business right there. So like, now if I want to shift it over to a different side, a different business, I got to actually almost separate myself that exact way. So now I'm thinking about that. I'm like, okay, what's Bunduk's strengths? What's Bunduk's weaknesses? What are the opportunities? Is he consistent? Is he grinding? Is he building his own audience? So y'all got my brain going now. I appreciate this, man. I appreciate
That's what I'm talking about, man.
Sunday Live.
Soundboard Sunday Live. Shout out all the board members.
Get it, yo.
That's what I'm talking about, bro. I love that, man. You always know, man, you can definitely, man, slide on through, bro. Bunduk, I'm gonna take you out of here.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Peace, y'all.
Of course. Likewise, bro. So, you know, Bunduk always knows, man, you can, man, slide through and be here. But again, guys, we just talked about that, the power of masterminding. You know what I'm saying? Like the power of being around people who really want you to be successful. Thanks. And having these types of conversations. Grinding is a part of life.
Talk to them.
Yes. Grinding is a part of life. But guess what, though? So is abundance. Grinding is a part of life, but so is abundance. Right? We cannot be so used to grinding all of our life that we forget, yo, what are we doing this stuff for? I was just looking at Sauce Walker last night, y'all. And Sauce Walker is like going on IG Live talking about his Maybach truck that he got. Talking about, I just had to hop on here because niggas talking about this truck was leased, and all this. Like, I got all my paperwork and does a whole live based on that. I'm like, we gotta like get out of the I gotta show these.
Right.
We have got to get out of I gotta show these. And sorry guys, if you're not from our ethnic group and things like that, you know what I'm saying? What that means is, again, it's like just this, I gotta stop sort of like, trying to impress other people and realize what is what brings me peace, power, and prosperity. And that's the only thing that matters. You know, I told people the other day, I said, listen, like, I understand our demographic when, not all of the demographic, not everybody, but when our demographic needs to see like expensive stuff and this, that, and the other, or they don't think that you're getting it. The funniest thing is that once your bank account, once you're billionaires and stuff like that, look at how Jay-Z dresses, look at how, and that's Kanye, and these are all folks from our culture. Once you like have gotten past that place where you got to stunt on people, and you've like you're like, okay, well, I'm past that place of insecurity. Now I actually don't need to like impress anybody, so I actually don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like I already know I got the money, and you know, like I don't have to stunt on my stunting on somebody is hopping in a jet whenever I want to. All right. So.
Hey.
Yes. So.
Off the mic.
Ooh. Yeah. There you go. So if you look like money, you probably don't have any. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. If you look like money, Troy said if you look like money, you probably don't have any. Please, anyway, yo, if y'all got some really dope quotes about, you know, like not having to flex with money, please put them things down in the chat. All right, guys, it's been an absolute blessing today being in front of you guys for Soundboard Sunday. I hope there's a whole bunch of notes here. We went over a little bit, you know what I'm saying, but I hope that you guys have what it is that you need to take it to that next level. Okay, so you take what we learned last month, and then you apply it with what we learned this month, and we'll see you in the next month. All right? Okay. Blessings. Peace.